Howdy, folks. We're going to do a fun flippy photo. Yes, fun flippy photo. Here are our directions. You're going to want to pull these up. You can follow along with this video, but you also may want to read through these directions as well. So here are two examples of what we're going to be making, one based on a landscapes, one based on a series of images that we did throughout the year. So for this assignment, you can choose any artwork you did this year, okay? The first step is that you are going to need to create a base. This base image is going to be copied 4 times. So here's an example of a base. Here's a second example. Here we have a 4 by 5, which is a horizontal orientation. And here we have a 5 by 4 with a vertical orientation. Okay. Um, you're going to start with a base image first. So you're gonna download or create a new document that is 5 by 4 inches with a 300 resolution. Okay, so here we go. Starting here with this vertical design where I'm gonna build everything. The first thing I want to do is I want to get a one base image. Okay, so I'm gonna use a selection from this wings. I really like this design that was done for this doodle portrait. So I'm going to come over here and using the rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to take a selection of this wing here. I might want to do that again. Okay, you can undo it if you don't like it. I'm just going to take like a nice section of this wing. There we go. And I'm going to go edit, copy. All right. Edit. It's you want to make sure you select copy merged if you have multiple layers over here. Copy merged. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here to this and I'm going to do edit, paste, and I'm going to resize this and just kind of figure out how like I want to like place it. It needs to fit completely on here with no white showing. Okay, so let's put it right there. All right, that looks pretty good. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take a section of this pop art image. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and again use the marquee tool and I'm going to select half of the body here and a little bit of the Legos. I'm going to go edit, copy merged. Okay, you want to make sure you select copy merged because you may have multiple layers over here and you want to make sure you select all the layers. Then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to paste that into here. Edit, paste. And what I'm going to do is move this over to the very much to the left side. Show transform controls are really important because I want to be able to stretch this and move this into place and have it. All right, I'm going to. Okay, so now I want to start to blend this in a little bit. So what I want to do is look at what I did on this particular one. Looks like I did lighten blend mode. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can, blend your images. Okay, you can use a quick selection tool and select part of an image, or you can use a marquee tool to select part of an image and copy it. Um, and then you can use blending modes. Um, there's a couple of ways to blend these images in. You can use a layer mask or you can use blending modes. Okay. So the directions on here explain all of that. So I would definitely read these step by step. Okay. So I want to add a blending mode and I'm going to make this lighten so that it blends in and you can still see some of the wing coming through. Okay. Also, if I want, I could adjust the color on this. I can come up here to image adjustments and go to hue saturation. And if I want to, I could change the color on this if I wanted to. Maybe, and then I can, saturate the color. I can lighten or darken. I can even colorize if I want to make it all one color. For this one, I'm not going to colorize, okay? I'm just going to maybe make this a little bit redder, okay? And say, okay, now the next tool I'm going to use is a quick selection tool. Okay, you can see that that's what's done right here. What I want to do is come over here and use my quick selection tool. Make sure it's plus. I'm going to select a part of this leaf blade here, going in. Make sure it's plus here. I'm going to select a part of this leaf blade. And if it goes beyond the blade, then I want to go in negative and undo. Make sure it's just kind of fitting right along the edge here. Kind of come in here and undo and make sure it's going right. Now I need to make sure that I'm actually on the layer of this image. Okay, so you can see that I am. Otherwise, it's not going to select properly. So I'm going to then go over here to select and mask, and I'm going to smooth it out a little bit, add a little bit of a feather, add a little bit of a contrast, and just double check, maybe shift those edges in a little closer, add a little more contrast, a little feather. That's too much feathering. Okay, that looks good. Okay. And now I'm going to go to edit. Again, make sure you select copy merged because you might have multiple layers over here. On this example, I opened up a JPEG, so it's everything is all merged into one layer, but make sure you select copy merged, okay? Now we're going to go back over here and I'm going to edit, paste. Oops, edit, undo, paste. Okay, so I guess because I went off of the image and I'm gonna have to do that again. So edit, copy merged, and then come back over here and paste that in. And I'm gonna move it down to the corner and just kind of bring it down over here. I'm going to make it pretty small and bring it down to the corner here. Okay. And let's check that in place. And I'm probably going to change the color on that. But first, I want to add in this last or couple of, there's a couple of parts I want to add in. Actually, there's one more image that I want to add in. So let me go find that. It is from our stencil in studio. It is this image. So I'm going to open that up. Okay. I want to, using the marquee tool, I'm going to select this part of the face here. I'm going to go edit, copy merged again, because there could be multiple layers. So edit, copy merged. And I'm going to come over here and do edit, paste. And I'm definitely going to need to size that down and I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to bring that over here to the corner. And I need to look and see what blending mode I need to use on that. I have it. Okay, so hard light. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to select hard light blending mode. So it kind of blends in there and I'm move it over just a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring this layer up and I'm going to put this, I'm going to rename this as the base. This is a marquee tool with lighten. And this one is hard light. This is a marquee tool with hard light. And then I've got my little blade work here. I got quick selection, and quick selection. And I am going to go back and look at my document to see what I need to do for that. Quick selection with dark. Okay, so quick selection with dark color. There we go. Oh, I don't think dark color works. So let me adjust that. I'm going to go through these different blend modes and let's see which one works better. Dissolve, normal, darken, nope, multiply, nope, color burn, nope, linear burn, darker color, no, lighten, screen. Okay, I'm going to do lighten actually. So let's rename that. Name with lighten. But I want to make that maybe lighten with quick selection tool. And I want to make this a different color. So I'm going to go up to image adjustments and I'm going to make it kind of a pinky color. There we go. Or okay. And I'm going to saturate that a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here. Let me see how it looks on my, it's actually more of a purple color. So let me change that again to purple. Image adjustments, hue saturation, make it more purple looking. There we go. A little more saturation. Okay, and then I'm going to double click on this and I'm going to do outer glow with a pink. All right, so what's really important is that you select this, you change this to like a normal blending mode and you have to change the color that you want here and you can kind of move it around. I want it pink, a nice bright pink. And then you want to change the spread and the size. So spread, you can see how that goes. Size is how much it blends out. So I want to blend out a little bit with a little bit of a spread. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to say okay. And then I don't like the way this is blending in. It's too squared. So if we look at this document here, we can see I added a layer mask. So I'm going to go in on this and put in a layer mask. And then I'm going to just kind of blend out the edges a little bit of this and just kind of blend it into the other design. Not too much. So let me add it back in. I want the eyes for sure here. Okay, and let's look at this original. Looking pretty close to the original. It's not going to be, and I'm also I think I want to flip this image. So I'm going to go to edit, transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontal. And then I'm going to move it over again. Perfect. And then I'm going to go back on this layer mask and fix this blending a little bit. There we go. Let me see how the original looks. Pretty close to that. Let's see. Yeah, I actually think I want this body to be yellow. So I'm going to go back to image adjustments, hue saturation, and I'm actually going to put this body back to yellow because I kind of want her yellow face to blend with his yellow jacket. So I think that looks better. There we go. And now let's look at the original. It's looking pretty close to the original now, except for I want the mask to show a little better. So I'm going to bring that mask in. And I'm gonna just soften the edge just a tad on that mask. And so let's look at this original here. It's looking pretty close to the original now. Let's look at this original. Okay. Okay, so I have one more design to add right here, and that's going to be, where is it at? Here it is. I'm gonna add some of this line. I'm gonna use the marquee tool, and just above the head here, I'm just gonna add some of this line here. Edit, copy merged again. Make sure it's copy merged, especially if we got multiple layers over here. You want to make sure you select every layer from the artwork and come back over here and I'm going to edit, paste, and I'm going to rotate it move it over. I'm going to do a control minus so I can kind of resize this a little easier here. Bring this up, rotate it, bring this over. I need to look at the how I have it placed in here. So I have it mostly there. Okay. Um, bring this down. I want to see most of this kind of like that. Let's see. Let's kind of move that over. Okay, I'm going to check that in and then I'm going to go control plus. And then what I'm going to do is change that to lighten, I believe. Yeah. And then I'm going to move this over so it's like right on the edge of the pop art image. And then I'm going to add a stroke to this. I'm going to click on stroke and I'm going to add a pink stroke and a little bit wider size. So I have kind of like this pink line going down that. Okay. Looking pretty close to this image. I kind of want to rotate this just a little bit like that, just so it's kind of like at a little bit of an angle there and check mark that in. And it's looking pretty close to this image here. Okay, so now you want to make sure you follow all these steps here, okay? So I'm going to come over here and here's my base, 8 by 10 base. And what I'm going to do is go select all and I'm going to go to edit, copy, merge, make sure I copy every single layer here. And then come over here to this document and I'm going to go edit, paste. And now I'm going to move this to the right corner here. Edit, paste. And I'm going to move this to the left corner. And I'm going to go to edit, transform, flip horizontal so that these images line up. Okay, so it's looking very much like our document here. For the third one, we're going to paste it and we're going to go to edit, transform, flip vertically, and then flip horizontal. Okay, so edit, paste, move it over, edit, transform, flip vertical, edit, transform, flip horizontal. All right, so that they're now lining up here in the center. And then we do our last one, edit, paste, and we move it down. And we go to edit, transform, flip vertical. And so now it's all aligned. Now, one thing we want to do is we want to do a control plus and zoom in. And make sure we don't have any like white lines showing. Make sure that everything is, for example, let's say this image was off a little bit. There might be like a little bit of a white line there. So using your arrow keys on your keyboard, you can just kind of move it over and then check your images and make sure everything is lining up properly. Once you do that, you want to label these like bottom left, bottom right, top right, and this is what your image will look like. And here's another one. Make sure you save it in the proper file.